Not even a week has passed and we already got a new video in the gameplay series. This one is all about squad mates and profiles in the game. Very similar to when the other video came out, we aren't going to really break this one down as it is very straightforward, especially near the end. But instead, we're going to try to point out things that you may have missed. Now, starting off the bat with a pretty cool cutscene that we have seen before, where Ryder and Drac are kicking some ass, but this time there's a slight difference. This time it is shown as female Ryder instead of male Ryder. They are the exact same shots, but just different characters. It's not too big of a thing, just thought that was kind of interesting to see. Now, when we first see the menu, you can see that the codex is returning, which is a great way for players to keep up with lore of characters, races, and much more. There's also an option to go straight to desktop. Again, not much of a big thing, but still a nice little time saver for you to have when you've done playing for 15 hours straight and you finally realize that you've missed every single meal of the day. Now, Ryder has a menu for Singularity, a pretty fun biotic power for those of you who may not know. We can see the upgrade skill tree for it, and at first you have to go with upgrading recharge speed and damage, but after that you choose between two options. The first choice being duration and radius, then anti-shield and recharge speed, and finally exploding singularity and expanding singularity. We then see Ryder use the powers, and there have always been combos in Mass Effect, but it is nice to see that it now tells you if you do a combo correctly, as we see Cryo Combo appear after Ryder hits a frozen enemy with a concussive shot. We are sure that this is not the only way to get the combo, and we actually see them get it a different way later on in the video. We are looking forward to finding out every which way that you can get this combo, plus other combos that we'll know about when the game comes out. On the topic of powers, we get a list showing all of the combat powers. We have seen these before, so I'm not really going to point out each one, but I do want you to notice Turbocharge, which in its name is new to the series, but is very reminiscent of Marksman from Mass Effect 3. Now, we are being shown the profiles and the player selects the Adept one. They show us some of the bonuses you get for selecting the profile, and something to note is that if you use this class, you don't use your jump jet. Instead, you use your biotics to jump higher and evade. Charge is shown very quickly, but the way you can upgrade it is with recharge speed and damage and force. After that, you choose between radius and damage and force, power synergy and weapons and melee, and then Bastion and Shock Trooper. Now, we don't get to see what Bastion or power synergy are. Our guess is that power synergy might increase the damage, and Bastion might put a temporary biotic bubble around you after use. Another thing to note is that in the profiles menu, it shows you how many skill points are needed to upgrade that profile. We are told that you need to do so in order to upgrade it in the video, but it is always nice to see a number being shown to tell us the exact amount instead of us guessing of when it'll happen. The last profile we were shown shows us the Pathfinder profile. This one gives bonuses to all tech, combat, and biotic abilities. A part of it that was shown very quickly that you may have missed was the fact that it has biotic blink, which says, evades allow you to quickly traverse a short distance, even seemingly passing through solid matter. This will most likely allow you to go through small bits of cover as you evade, and possibly enemies as well. Now, we have gotten glimpses of this before, but now we can fully see someone shooting from cover. Now, because of how obvious it is, I don't really think that many of you have missed it, but I do want to point out that it looks vastly improved than the original trilogy shooting from cover. Next up is the favorite selection. Not really much to point out here, but I do want to take a step back and get away from this breakdown what you missed kind of thing, and talk a little bit about the favorites. Fans were really worried when we were shown that you could only have up to 3 abilities at a time. Understandable, as the previous games let you have more options to go with. This appears to be both allowing you more freedom and options with your abilities, while at the same time not removing you from the action from having to go through a selection wheel and allowing you to use your powers quickly and in succession, rather than, once again, having to reselect from the power wheel. Not just does it change what abilities you have, it can also change your weapons and profiles so you can get set up for a profile with range, one for up close, and then a mix and match of others. The possibilities are endless, and in my own personal opinion, I think that this is a great step forward for an improvement to the series, to which you can write your own disagreements in the comment section down below. Now getting back to the main focus of the video, we get a very long sequence where we see many cool things. The focus of this video is to point out things that you may have missed, and we're going to start with the fact that Joel is one of your squad mates in this mission. We are assuming that because of that, this mission probably takes place later on in the game rather than one of the first few missions you get, as Joel is your squad mate that you get from the Andromeda galaxy. Now the player zooms in with a rifle to take out some of the anointed Ket, and the weird thing is, when the player comes out of that, their squad mates switched. They now have Drac instead of Joel. They both had Cora, but still, that kinda took us by surprise here. The most likely reason for that is probably when the person was recording that for the trailer, things didn't exactly go their way, so when they restarted, they just brought in some new squad mates. Still, again, kind of interesting to see. Now we get another instance of a combo. This time it is Cryo and Lance. The player freezes the enemy and then hits it with a biotic lance, which is new to the game. We've seen it before in a previous video, but Lance is essentially you throwing a shaft of energy at the enemy. It inflicts bonus damage when hitting weak points such as the enemy head, meaning that it is not an auto-aim ability, and it also detonates combo primers, meaning it is great for use when you're trying to get a powerful combo against your enemies. Now on the dead bodies of Anointed, you may not have noticed, but you can see text that reads remains. This most likely means that when the fight is over, you can scavenge resources, ammo, weapons, and other things from dead enemies. Now this is new to the Mass Effect series, excluding the ammo bit, but it is not exactly new to the BioWare games, as you could do the same thing in Dragon Age. Now we have been told that some of bits and pieces of cover are destructible, and we get a cool shot of that when the character is attacking the Fiend after the Fiend smacks Ryder in the ass. Ryder uses Shockwave and we can see the cover to the right of her being destroyed by the ability. Now this is a great new feature to the series, as it can really help you get the enemies that are hiding in cover that you just can't get the right shot at. Again, nothing you can really miss here, but the new squad mate selecting screen is amazing. You get an up-close view of them with each being in their own little area rather than having them all line up like they're in a police lineup. Also, to note, fans have been wondering what kind of bones Drac has around his armor. The answer is Ket bones. This was revealed in his character kit. Now while being shown what you can do with your squad mate commands, I want to point out that you get a little notification where your squad mate is if they aren't on your screen. It appears this only happens though when you give them a command when they aren't visible. If you haven't given them a command and they're off doing their own thing, they will not appear like that on your screen. Finally, we get to see that we upgrade our squad mates the same way we do our own, with selecting what we want upgraded and what boost we want selected. Not necessarily new or something you may have missed, but a nice thing to see nonetheless. Something to note is that the upgrade skill points for the characters are separate, meaning you don't have to divide a pool of skill points to each character, but instead, the more you use that character, the more skill points you get for that character, and you can use those to upgrade them. So that is about it for things that you may not have noticed. There are some extra scenes at the end of the trailer, but they are pretty straightforward and nothing really left to be spotted. I do want to point out one last thing though during the end sequence. We are told that the next video will be about exploration in the game, and we are shown someone probing an anomaly. It is nice to see this feature returning to the series, as it was a fun way to get side missions that you may have missed. So what did you think about the video? Did we miss anything? If we did, point those out in the comments down below, and while you are there, give this video a like and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.